Future reports or direct the matter to be scheduled on an upcoming agenda. Anybody want to speak to the council?
Robin Hensel, 807 First Street Southeast. As everyone in this chamber knows, and I'd like everyone on TV to understand, is that none of what I've ever done in this city has ever been to call attention to myself, and that's gut from the heart. I can't help but think that the citizen and appeal changes that are being asked for now and about to be passed relatively soon are because the free speech that any citizen can implement or state here so that everyone in this city that has access to Channel 6 can be aware of is soon to be changed. It feels like that's directed at me. May not be, but that feels like that to me. Very soon, because of Frank Ossiak's suggestion, citizen appeals are likely going to be changed by this council to be stated in a non-televised version in the works before the work session begins. I find that troubling, and I hope others in this city do as well. I'm certainly glad I have one last time to speak honestly to the citizens of this area, because I want to state emphatically that at the last youth task force meeting that I attended over at the Alliance Church, our mayor stated in a fairly raised tone of voice that Little Falls was poor in spirit, poor in thought, and poor in actions. And I have this, of course, recorded. This troubles me. She also stated that the council has a really hard time making decisions. Those two statements sum up the mayor's feelings about the voters she represents and the council she's part of. The city of Royalton has $265,000 in cash, all from donations, fundraisers, and grants, none from extra taxes to build their splash pad this spring. A 0.5% city sales tax has been discussed and suggested by our mayor and others in this room to help pay for the splash pad and skate park in the future. This, of course, would have to be voted on by the taxpayers. In one of the meetings recently, Cathy actually stated that she felt that because this was for the youth, the taxpayers might go for a tax increase like that. It is a known fact that sales and property taxes are two of the most regressive taxes of all. They disproportionately affect the lower income people and the middle income people anywhere. A distributional analysis of the tax systems in all 50 states released on 1/30/13 by the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy says that state tax systems take a much larger share from low and middle income families than from wealthy families. It states that overall average effective tax rates by income group nationwide are 11.1% for the bottom 20%, 9.4% for the middle 20%, and only 5.6% for the top 1%. Let me restate that. 11.1% for the lowest income people in our society, the 20%. 9.4% for the middle 20%, and half that amount for the top 1%, 5.6%. Everyone has to pay sales tax. No one is exempt, regardless of how little they have to spend each month. The mayor stated that admission to the splash pad and the skate park would be free to all. This will become a false statement if the voters vote in a sales tax to build that facility. In fact, everyone, including the lowest income little kids in this community, will be paying for that in the form of their parents paying extra sales tax. The Little Falls School District is keen on having a lease on the MnDOT land that this splash pad skate park is going to be seated on, because they wish to serve liquor during their tournaments and would not be able to do that on school property. That's the main reason for the lease. The school doesn't want this on their property because they can't serve liquor there. This is really troubling to me, especially in a community that has trouble with teen consumption of alcohol. So much so that we've sent our police force out of state to go to conferences to find out how we can best combat minors drinking liquor in this community. Might we not think better about setting a better example for our kids than not serving liquor and not gambling at every event that's public in this area? I think we should really consider that. What kind of an example do we wish to set for our youth and for others? Thank you.
Robin, excuse me, but I have a question for you. I would like you to repeat that statement, the poor in spirit, poor in what?
I can play it on my tape for you if you like. You stated it was that the Little Falls community was poor in spirit, poor in thought, and poor in actions.
Okay, I would personally like to hear that.
I'd be happy to play that for you and anyone else who likes.
Anybody else want to speak? Anybody on the council got anything you want to talk about?
I'd like to respond. I never heard the school district ever say that they wanted to serve liquor, and that's why they wanted to lease something off their premises in order to do it. That has never been stated at any of our meetings. There's a discussion about liquor at a meeting once. It was a discussion. It was never something somebody wished for, wanted, or asked for, and the school district has never said they wanted to serve liquor at baseball games. They can't do that. Anything involving youth, you cannot have liquor at that setting, so just to clear that up a bit.
I would like to say too that a large portion of Ms. Hensel's statements are incorrect. The free to all, no decision has been made. We have had discussion, very little on admission, very little on a 0.5% tax. I have not introduced that anywhere. It has been discussed, but I have not introduced it anywhere. And Little Falls is not poor in spirit, poor in action, or poor in thought. A statement was made by a council member that we are a poor community, and I stated poor is all in the head, and we as a community are rich in our hearts and in our thoughts and in our actions. And so we are not a poor people.
I think it's on here. Would you like me to play it for the public?
At this time, no, but you can definitely later because your time is up.
But
Okay.
I would like to comment on the mayor's comment. I am the council member that mentioned our county in the ranking of poverty. It is not anything to be ashamed of, Kathy, to know what,
Not ashamed of it.
knowledge is important. And we do live in a county that suffers economically. And we cannot, we have to spend wisely, or else every year this council has had to raise the levy, which is property tax against the people of this community. And I'm not going to be ashamed of letting the truth be known. And I think I'm the biggest supporter of this community as far as I love living here. We have beautiful people, beautiful town. And don't paint me in that picture that you're so great at doing. I am very proud of our community, every person in this community.
Well, and I'd like to say that just before this meeting, we actually did talk about the levy and the debt, and that is our main and number one concern. My main goal is to change the economic impact of this community, and this is why we're working so hard to increase the jobs and everything else in the area. So,
President Hunter, I would just like to say, you and I in the past have been in on those discussions on the fields, and the discussion that had taken place regarding liquor was the fact that if the district owned it, we could not have town team baseball like all the surrounding communities do, which we are missing in the community that has been known for baseball for many years. And the ability for us to hold like the Victory League tournaments and things like that would not be possible. And that they use the alcohol sales at those venues for revenue. So that's what we're discussing.
Yes, right. Any more discussion?
Mr.
Not?
President,
Yes.
I just would like to, in lieu of this, to remind everyone that as listed on our notice of meetings, there is an upcoming meeting a week from tomorrow, February 27th, here in the council chambers. 3 city committees, the Youth Task Force, Park Rec and Tree Board, and the Little Falls Area Recreational Park Task Force will all meet February 27th at 4:30 to discuss and be updated on the proposed community city park north of town. In light of our last meeting's vote to approve the area set aside for the splash pad skateboard park, I particularly invite all council members to attend this meeting, and it's open to the public. It's 4:30 p.m. Wednesday, February 27th, right here in the council chambers.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.